You know what, Sam? I every time that I put a bathroom in D&D, because I'm always saying that there's no bathrooms in D&D, not nearly enough bathrooms, my players loot the damn thing.
Okay, look, Dan Schneider, I didn't know that like you needed a room in a D&D campaign. I think it was kind of like a TV show. You don't need to see characters going to the bathroom, right?
Well, what if the monster's hiding in the bathroom,
I mean, if there's a reason to describe a bathroom, sure.
I mean, pretty sure there was a troll in the bathrooms in Harry Potter at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in
toilet.
it was in the bathrooms. It was in the they had it in the dungeons, and then it was in the bathrooms. Trolls up all over the place. Like I even remember like this one specific horror movie. I don't even know the name of it when I was a kid. And like it has me forever like if I go into a bathroom and there's a curtain drawn, I have to pull the curtain every time, make sure there's some motherfucker back there, cuz like some kind of like weird hag undead thing from that movie was hiding in the bathroom. Yeah. Like I don't even remember what it was. I'd know it if I saw it, but like dude, last time I let players have a bathroom in D&D, they looted the toilet paper. They looted the hand towels. They took the toilet brush. Someone wanted to take a nap in the bathtub.
Damn. Wait, what kind of public bathroom has a bathtub?
Well, this was a dungeon. You got to have all the amenities. You think
bathtub in a dungeon?
Well, monsters need to take care of themselves too. You get that one player looking for drugs in the medicine cabinet.
Oh Jesus! All right, fair enough. Into race specific bathrooms or anything like that. We can just,
I mean, how different are the racial needs in D&D for bathrooms outside of maybe a booster seat for the halflings?
Look, we talk a lot about careers and races here. Everybody knows the differences.
Do you think centaurs would need a separate bathroom?
Damn. I don't know. How do snake people take a shit?
If you don't know about snake anatomy, then you don't want to know.
I feel like there's a reason we omit bathroom moments in Dungeons and Dragons, and it's just for simplicity's sake.
Yeah, thing why people skip sex scenes.
Yeah, just fade to black.
I don't know. I think there's a very big difference between like fade to black sex scenes and like when you have the paladin goes to take a shit. He's not keeping all of his armor on. Like he's completely vulnerable to toilet goblins.
Right, I need you to role play the what is it called? Doffing your armor.
Yeah, donning and doffing armor.
When the fun is doffing your armor.
Okay, so you need to go really badly, but it takes 5 minutes to take it all off.
Kill yourself. Just like, oh god,
you just gotta take off the lower parts.
You got 17 buckles and straps.
Maybe they have like a little trap door.
Jesus Christ.
Like those old pajamas.
Onesie. Oh, yeah.
Leave that up to the artificer.
Oh, my God.
Dude, if your armor doesn't have the ability to, like, just to have a butt flap. So,
oh, my God.
What you doing,
Every
man?
short rest, I need you to role play this for me. How you take...
I don't know. I think there's a little bit of fun to be had with, like, the player that's like, hey, listen, rushes right into the establishment. Where is the bathroom? Like,
please, magic sparking. Let me in. They're like, bathroom's only for paying customers only.
Just throws an entire coin purse.
Oh my
god. That lesser talked about effects of being a wild magic sorcerer.
I love the idea that you could like, it's like, oh, how are we going to break into this place? I have an idea. Bard bursts through the doors. Where's the bathroom? I gotta go now. It's like, excuse you, who the fuck are you? Why are you in here? You don't understand. I will shit on your floor right now if I don't find a bathroom. Down the hall to the left. And meanwhile, like, gets in there, dumps everyone out of the bag of holding. We're in. It's like Mission Impossible.
Oh my god. I always
That's
love the
brilliant.
scenes in shows where it's like someone like the room slams the door, you hear like the random sounds, and there's like suddenly an air horn for some reason. There's like random quacking, like it's crazy. There's like an explosion, somebody screams. It's crazy. You know?
It sounds like you finally got a soundboard going.
I did. I found one.
I'm so proud.
Let's go ahead and start the show.
Wait, what? Why didn't it do? Excuse me, soundboard. I didn't do the. Yeah, that's on me. That's on me. Welcome to Dungeons and Talkshows, the talk show that brings you monsters, news, and bathrooms. I am your host, Orion.
And I am your host, Sam. Welcome back. Welcome back.
It's been a wild time. I had to reset my computer this week, so key bindings gone, OBS plugins out the window. So we're flying by the seat of our pants here tonight.
Yeah, oh yeah. Raw dog in reality out here, man.
But, that's all right, because we have with us a special guest this week. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure. I was waiting. I was kind of waiting. Hi, I'm TheGooseQuill. I publish Homebrew on the Unearthed Arcana and D&D Homebrew subreddits, all for free as part of my graduation project. Yeah.
Graduation project.
Yes, I study game design.
Whoa!
So this is kind of me
Ooh.
combining my game design skills and my love for Dungeons and Dragons into, something that I really like doing. And I'm basically using it to graduate.
Hell yeah, man.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm currently in the process of writing a book.
Ooh.
Some of the stuff that I publish is included in the book, but that would basically be my graduation project. I plan on publishing it for free when it's done.
Oh, hell yeah.
I like the sound of that.
Like
Always good to bring content out there to people,
Yeah, especially for free.
Yeah, we would love to have you back on for a free shit segment to talk about your book when
sure thing.
when that's ready.
We do love free shit.
We do love free shit here. For the people like us who don't often want to spend $1 billion on one thing. We love our free shit out here.
We're looking at you, Watsy.
Yeah, Watsy. Oh man, hope you guys are having a good October so far.
Yeah,
loving
it's been in October.
Living La Vida spooky, it's going.
Autumn
crazy.
has hit hard over here.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. Right. You're in the Netherlands, right?
Yes, I am. At one point, it was 21 degrees Celsius, so I don't know the exact temperature in Fahrenheit for you guys.
I think that's like a 33-degree difference, plus or minus like some other factor.
Something like that. Basically, think summer temperatures, right?
Yeah.
And then out of the blue, one day it's boom, fall as it, and it's just kept at that temperature.
Interesting.
That's wild. I mean, like I was looking at the forecast for this coming week, and apparently there's going to be some snow here in the U.S.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like not in our area, like just like Midwest, up.
Midwest.
Yeah, like the northern Midwest. I'm just like, it's weird to me because like up here in Maine, I'm always like right next to Canada, all snuggled up and cold.
Yeah, we don't get a whole lot of snow out where I live. At least not anymore.
No, same here. I wish we did.
But
it usually snows for like 5 days a year, something like that, and that's about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we get the warm airflow basically from the Atlantic, so that's why we don't get a whole lot of snow. It needs to be really, really cold in order for it to snow in the Netherlands.
Yeah, that makes sense because like the Netherlands, like they kind of catch the same part of the jet stream that England does.
Yeah, basically.
Well,
we have this what's it called? We have something called the Elfstedentocht, which is basically ice skating through 11 different cities in the northern side of the Netherlands. And every year it's the same discussion: is it going to happen? And everybody knows the answer: it's not going to happen. But it's a recurring thing every year, and everybody knows global warming has happened. Like, it's not going to happen anymore, but just the idea of it possibly happening is what keeps people going and keeps people up at night.
You know, you got to give people a little bit of hope, but that's a double-edged sword because when there's like hope without anything actually going on, it's like, fuck, you made me hope again.
Exactly, and it's only a matter of time before the discussion pops up again. I'm giving it maybe a month.
Yeah, fair enough. I think my biggest position, it's an unpopular one with global warming, but I'm all for it for the sheer fact that I got to know what's under Antarctica's ice. I got to know.
You know what's under ice? Million-year-old viruses.
I was about to say, I'm not sure if we want to encounter those.
We don't want this.
You don't want this. I need a new continent worth exploring. I need we need to get under like the let's just pretend that there's an Antarctic dome. Let's pretend like all these movies were right.
I think I might have said like a little bit about this in another episode, but I don't know how in touch you are with conspiracy space. You know, but there was a pretty well-known psychic woman named like Baba Vanga something, right? And she prophesized that there would be this like virus that would like super age people.
I heard about that, but I'm so glad you mentioned psychics because that leads me into this one little news tidbit for the week that you're gonna love.
Okay, go ahead.
Are both of you familiar with Stranger Things, the Netflix show that has revitalized D&D?
Absolutely.
Oh man.
Okay.
I've heard. I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Yeah, you know exactly, Sam. So one of the lead actresses of the show, the girl that plays 11, she's apparently a psychic came up to her and told her that she needs to become a feminist.
Wait, what?
Yes, a psychic told her that she's a feminist.
What? Okay. This isn't where I thought you were going to go with this. You were going to talk about the show.
No. This is just complete. I read about it this week, and I'm just like, is that where we're
saying?
Like she's going with it. I mean, if a spiritualist comes up to you and says, "Hey, Sam, you're actually a communist," do you not start waving a red flag?
Be a no. Absolutely not. Yo, you're so right. Okay, it's right. Millie Bobby Brown had an unexpected feminist awakening. The Stranger Things star revealed in her Glamour UK Women of the Year cover story, blah, blah, blah. She was a feminist after a psychic told her she was. For the session, Brown recalled searching, "How do I know if I'm a feminist?" I mean, good for her on Discovery, I guess.
Yeah, more power to her.
I don't know. It's like there's a discovering yourself, and then someone's like, "You are this. I had a vision."
Yeah, I feel like people they care way too much about celebrities in the first place. Like,
yeah, I would agree with that. But damn, if that didn't give me a chuckle when I first heard it. Like, come on, like Don't get me wrong. I think that there are like psychic things out there, and that's a legit thing in some sections. But there's also a lot of con artists out there, and somehow I just don't think that someone who's got the gift is going to walk up to you and be like, "Hey, you need to be a part of this ideology. It is in your life path to be this." And it's just like, oh, okay.
Someone walked up to you and was like, "You're a Christian now," or like, "You should be a Christian."
No, I actually get that all the time. They knock on my door.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
But I don't pay any credence to people that tell me that I need to be something else. Like,
you're like, "You're a vegan."
Maybe they just rolled really high on their persuasion check.
I guess so. Real life shit does happen.
Maybe she rolled really high. Fuck.
It just makes me think like, "You're a vegan, Harry." I'm a what? You're a vegan, and a thumping of a good one. If once you train up a little, do I have to give up eggs? Yes. No more eggs, Harry.
What about chicken on? Is that vegan?
Are the chicken nuggies vegan?
Vegan. Look, I remember when I worked at Red Robin. Sorry, I don't want to say Robin, but they have like cauliflower nuggets or whatever.
That is a thing.
Like, the first time I met them, and I was just like, "What are you guys talking about? Like, I don't know what that is." Like, and I was so confused. And they were like, "Get the vegan nuggets," and I was like, "What? What are you talking about?"
So wait, the nuggets are made of cauliflower?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like a cauliflower nugget, I guess.
Does it taste remotely like chicken?
No.
I would imagine that most vegan things don't. Like, I think the best vegan anything out there might be like soy or tofu, but that's just.
I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
Pretty sure all the flavor from it comes from like the seasoning and then the fry and stuff like that.
Yeah, fair enough. But like the texture isn't even remotely close.
No.
They use cauliflower to sub for a lot of things, like even in pasta.
I mean, what you gotta do, I guess.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
It's weird.
Vegans out there. No hate. Do your thing.
Well, as long as they're not trying to change my dietary habits.
Yeah.
But I want to hear more about this this project that you've were working on, like graduation. Okay. Like, dude, that's a
How
practical
much time do you
way.
have?
Oh, we got time.
Right. So I've been running a campaign for a couple of players for about a year or 1.5, I think. So I started with it right before I started my graduation year. And then graduation came around and I got the opportunity to, explore what I really like doing, which is writing homebrew. So I thought, why not combine the two things? Start writing a book, right? I really, really wanted to write a book. So I decided to write a setting guide. So not a campaign guide. So it doesn't include an adventure, but it includes all the world building. It includes a class and subclasses for all the available classes already present in D&D. Feats, monsters, backgrounds as well, playable races. Basically just a whole bunch of stuff that they could then use to, flesh out their characters a little bit more and give them a little place in the game world.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of stuff in that book that I haven't published yet that I do plan on doing.
Mm-hmm.
But every single time I publish something, I get inspired to make other things, so I never get around to doing it.
I definitely hear that. We had Amethyst Dragon on the show. At the time, he was the man of like 1,200 plus homebrews. Now it's 1,500 plus because he's making homebrews every day.
I wish I had that sort of time.
He's definitely got the spirit.
He just gets. Well, they say lightning doesn't strike twice, but inspiration. It just strikes all the time,
Yeah, he's got the magic, man, and that's. I feel like inspiration is so powerful. Like if you have it, you gotta roll with it. Take you away.
For sure.
Just looking up some. It looks good. I like it. I mean, like, I'm writing homebrew every single day, but I publish stuff once every 2 weeks, I think, because I really like adding visuals and
Yeah.
making it look pretty, but that takes time.
That's something that we're trying to do with the homebrews that we put on the Patreon, because we had an artist that does a bunch of stuff for us, but once again, like I mentioned before the show with our editor, like some of our people in the server just had been having a lot of trouble, so got to wait on a couple of the people to get back in order, but that his situation sorted out, so we'll be back in business,
I've been thinking, but if they are unable to kind of do the art that we wanted, I was looking for some. The last guy we met was really cool, and we would love to work with somebody again, I think.
That would be nice, because we do get a lot of cool ideas that I definitely want to kind of like get out there.
Yeah, I mean, if we have any artists listening who want some work, some commissions, we'd love to work with you. We'd love to meet you. You can come join our, Discord. Come join our chats and hit us up.
Absolutely.
Just out of curiosity, what tool do you guys use to write homebrew?
I use let's see, what was it again? It's like I forget what it was called, but like I have to write the stuff out in HTML. But
yeah, I just kind of write it out in like my notes. It is the homebrewer, I think.
Right.
Yeah, homebrewery.
I use that one as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I learned HTML years ago because on a whim. I was like, I've got to teach myself how to code. So HTML is a good entry level thing into that. And then it's like, okay, years later, I don't use it much. So it's about the only purpose I have for that skill out of a little bit of work with our website.
Well, I mean, it's nice that you still get to use it then, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like, I don't remember all of it, but, people talk a lot of shit about the AI stuff nowadays, but ChatGPT comes in clutch with helping out with coding, because it's versed in basically every coding language out there.
That's true. I think the software development landscape in general is gonna see a massive switch in a couple of years.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where you learn the code first. Okay, now don't do that, child. So, like I was saying, it's one of those things where once you have the foundational knowledge there, it becomes a valuable tool, because a lot of coding, as you probably already know, is copy, paste, adjust. And
yes.
ChatGPT expedites that process, because rather than having to go and painstakingly look for a piece of code that you might need, you could have it just kind of assist with getting some of the tidbits that you need for the code that you're composing.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good way of saying it.
Yeah, it's like giving yourself like a little assistant.
Yeah, it's like, I need this specific thing. Can't think of it off the top of my head. Hey, GPT. Oh, what's this? Okay. This little bit of code, you know what? That's useful. Not quite complete. I'll add X, Y, and Z, put it together, rearrange this, copy this, paste that. Good to go.
Yeah. But I think the skill there is knowing exactly what you need to adjust, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those things where it's a valuable tool, but it's useless if you don't know what you're doing in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Definitely true. That's where people get themselves fucked up, to try to use it to kind of circumvent, the knowledge that they should already have.
Yeah. Although it's a valuable teaching tool if you want to like get a little bit of a boost, like, I struggle with learning things. Okay, cool. Well, you can learn on your own, and it's like, okay, if you have a question but you don't have anybody that you can actually ask, you could ask this, and it's like, okay, it'll give you a rudimentary answer without having to sift through a bunch of people online that some know their stuff and others don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just makes Googling a whole lot easier. Right?
That's essentially what it is, you know?
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
It's a search engine that actively talks to you without like having to scroll for the answer. You just get the one you want straight away.
Yeah, I remember back in the day when you'd have to go like 20 pages deep just to find what you're looking for. It's like,
oh yeah, absolutely. When I started
all
studying
about
game
the
design, Googling was a really important skill to have, especially when coding, basically, because there'd be a lot of problems that a lot of other people had already solved, but good luck finding the exact same one, basically, right?
right,
And being
right.
able to phrase it properly in order to get the right answer you want.
Right.
Yeah, and like knowing how to ask a question is really the biggest thing there. And like falling back to typical D&D, like it really like with working with a good DM, a great DM is fine and all, but where are you without a player that knows how to ask the right questions?
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's a really good way of saying it.
Yeah. True.
Because one of the things that I've seen, like Sam, like he'll have a little bit of trouble with in our games is like we have a lot of passive players in the party. So kind of inspiring these players to be more proactive and ask the questions, it makes a big difference. We've seen a good amount of growth throughout the campaign from the start to finish.
Absolutely.
And it also makes things much more interesting as a DM, right? Because let's say you have a certain puzzle that you want somebody to figure out, but you don't want to lay it on the table straight away.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
Right? Then the player needs to start asking questions about the environments and what they see. And it becomes this little back and forth.
Exactly.
Which is 10,000 times more interesting than just, okay, this is the stuff you can see. Good luck fixing it, right? So finding the solution.
Yeah, like that's what made me fall in love with the hobby initially. Just the concept that the player can be like, is there a body of water nearby? Is there a chandelier in the room? And meanwhile, you, the DM, is like, you know what? There wasn't before, but now that you mention it, yes,
I had never thought about
there
that.
is
Sure.
actually.
Yeah. And I love that because it, it helps me know like if I'm doing a job, and it helps me expand like, my knowledge of like a scene,
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's rewarding the players for being creative, right?
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely.
Actively
Yeah,
working
absolutely.
towards
I
something.
love creative, like even if that's not the way that I had like for you to solve it. If I like creativity enough, maybe it works.
Yeah, like I'm perfectly content to have my players outsmart me. It's perfectly fine.
For sure, absolutely. And I think as a DM, a lot of people get pride. I am right. My stuff is like this way. I set it up. You know what I mean? And they create this very like rigid structure for them. So it's like your players are gonna outsmart you. They're gonna like out clever you. They're gonna
Have you
make
guys
you
played
look
Baldur's
bad.
Gate?
I have not played Baldur's Gate, but I've seen the videos that people are doing.
The thing with Baldur's Gate is that it kind of
Oh,
reflects that
yeah,
kind of
it definitely
behavior that
does.
also occurs in Dungeons and Dragons, where there's so many different things to or ways to solve a problem, and somehow the developers manage to think about all of them. Right? I don't want to spoil too much in case you're still planning to play it, but at one point there's a potential enemy that's guarding a really powerful explosive. And you need to talk your way out of it. But what you can also do is send your rogue in to basically steal it from under their nose. And the game will play a bit of dialogue for you,
Right.
letting you know, like, hey, we thought of that. We knew you were going to do that.
Right.
And it's in terms of like video game design, that's really impressive.
It really
generally
is.
video games are very linear, and that's why it's so difficult to make Dungeons and Dragons into a video game.
It really
because
is.
you never know what to expect from your players.
Yeah, because the whole thing about D&D is like being able to really like literally whatever you come up with is the answer. Like, and how do you put that into a game aspect?
Yeah, I mean, like,
yeah,
the concept of like I said before, you ask the dungeon master, "Hey, is this there?" or "What's going on with that?" kind of segues into you could get a yes, or there's the no, but.
Right.
And that's a very powerful thing right there. The
love a
no, but,
Yeah. As a DM, having the power of like your players are at your fingertips, you're like, that was a really good idea. I like it.
It'd be a shame if someone were to steal
it. You're almost there.
It's the you can certainly try type of deal, right?
Definitely try. Give it a go. Go ahead and roll for me.
Honestly, like there have been situations as a DM where I'm like, I really don't want you to succeed on this roll, but they get it anyway. And like contextually, there's no reason in the situation for them to not succeed. It's like, you know what?
Right.
I'll let you have it, but I'm not happy about it.
You guys have had moments like that, like when our character, one of our party members, stole that belt of cloud giant string. Like,
ran with that for most of the campaign.
Oh my god, you got that so early.
I mean, sometimes as a DM, you just have to suck it up and have to let the players have their way.
And it was fun. I was offended, man. You guys earned it, I guess.
Damn.
They had such an elaborate plan to steal it, and then rolled amazing. I was just like, well.
Nothing will top the elaborateness that was the traveling concubine situation.
Gets them every time. That poor man never saw it coming.
Don't fight the cultists, would find the leader. What? Who are you? Why are you in here? We're traveling concubines. Yay! Your eldritch master has rewarded you, but he didn't know what you wanted, so he sent the three of us. You know, that's 3 different races, all the flavors.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure like I had all 3 of you roll persuade, got like a nat 20. I was like, fuck. I was like, this man is cold. Like, he's not even living.
The funny part about that is like I had 0 to any of my charisma persuasion stuff, so it's just like it was just pure luck that any of that was working.
It was so good. But I think that's a pretty good segment into the rest of the news that we have for this week, right?
Well, let me see right here, because I have to actually go out of my way with our little things.
Oh man.
Yeah, news stuff, Sam. I love that stuff. I really do. But this week in tabletop news, Magic the Gathering kills both draft and set boosters to create a unified product, the Play Booster. So we're back to where we started as far as card games go. But like,
what?
Yeah,
wait, what?
Yeah, they were selling set boosters and then draft boosters because like
right.
Because like the set is like okay, where you can get like good cards for your collection. And the draft is like if you're joining a booster draft, which is its own format entirely.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
So
they combine them into one thing?
Yeah, they're getting rid of both. It's just going to be a regular play booster. The draft boosters have lower odds of getting better cards.
Okay.
And WotC was kind of under fire for that being kind of shitty, and then selling their set boosters at a higher markup. I'm telling you, man, they just got to keep dropping the ball. We will buy this company out yet.
Are they trying to like ostracize all of their resources?
Well, this is a step in the right direction, but damn, they had to spend so long just like, okay, we got all these different kinds of boosters. And
I'm not a Magic head, so I don't know, but But this sounds kind of like it'll piss people off. Because then won't people...
They've been doing the draft booster stuff for years now.
The draft stuff? Yeah, people like that kind of stuff. They're going to hate this.
Well, as long as the play boosters are good for booster drafts, I don't think it'll be a problem.
That's
like
true.
it'll increase
But I
your
mean,
odds
like,
of getting good
do you
cards,
think they
right?
will? I mean, will it? Is that what they said?
Well, theoretically, because the odds are going to be the same no matter what booster, because it's only going to be one kind of booster.
And also, because I mean, how many cards are going to be in this combined boost?
That's a very good question. Honestly,
Because they could,
it says it's going to contain 15.
how many were in the draft and the ones before?
I think the draft booster was about the same.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, I think it kind of depends on that a little bit too. Because then it kind of fucks with like the radio.
Right. And then
adding a wider variety of cards to the same amount of card pack.
all I can say is like the more WotC does stuff, the more their stock price drives down. We can seriously get the community together. We can buy this from a Hasbro. If everybody puts in $1 after their stock price drops to $1, we could take back our game.
Seize the means of production.
Exactly. Like shit, maybe that psychic was right. Maybe I am a commie. Commie and the only thing that counts, D&D.
Hasbro's stock price is $56.
It dropped $2 since last week. That's great. But
yeah.
Honestly, like when it comes to seizing the means of production, I really do feel like this is the one exception for me, because D&D is made by the community. It is the fans. Like it's like WotC and Hasbro, they are not D&D. We are D&D. Goose is D&D, you know? He's out there making his own stuff, you know?
Exactly.
I get where you're coming from, yeah. I think at the end of the day, all you can really do as being Wizards of the Coast, being Hasbro, right, is publishing books and publishing setting guides and stuff like that. But you cannot make the adventures, you cannot make the experience of Dungeons and Dragons something that you can sell, right? Because that needs to be a person dedicating their time to sit at the table with friends, hosting a campaign.
Exactly.
Same way that, for example, any other board game, you can really only sell the physical product, but you cannot sell the experience.
Right. This is kind of what I love about like people operations. It's like this is kind of proving that like they're trying to people's enjoyment. Like a property that they don't even really create. We kind of do everything. So like,
right? Like,
what are they like doing?
I mean, I don't have any problem with them trying to profit off of it. I just wish that they, you know, focus a little bit more on the. At the end of the day, a book is really it's a toolkit, right?
Yeah.
It's a set of tools basically that you give to somebody in order for them to organize a game. And I just wish that from time to time they put a little bit more effort into those tools.
Honestly, like I've seen better stuff come off the DMs Guild than what they've been putting out lately. And Wizards of the Coast, on the whole, they've been spending more time coming up with ways that they can make things more sensitized and more appealing to their audiences in the terms of, like, say, we got to remove the term witch or shaman or druid.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. Like in Magic the Gathering, they were removing the term witch, Draman, druid, and other things. And how long before that bleeds into some of the stuff that we're seeing in typical D&D production? Like they felt the need to like completely revise the Haddo Z early on this year.
Yeah, there's been a lot of things we talked about on this. Or wanting to remove races and stuff like that.
I mean, I get weird that maybe the term race is a little bit the wrong term if you look at what is actually available as playable races, right?
Perhaps.
I have no problem with them renaming it a species, but I think some of the other stuff that they are doing or are attempting to do is maybe a little bit overkill.
Or it's a little bit like out of touch.
Yeah, exactly. But then again, I think that you don't necessarily need Wizards of the Coast to play Dungeons and Dragons, right? If you just look at any of the Kickstarters, that's millions of dollars in funding.
Exactly.
I think the content in those books is from time to time 100 times better than some of the latest books made by Wizards of the Coast. And that's not me trying to flame Wizards of the Coast. It is just showing how much passion those people have for the hobby.
Yeah.
And the amount of effort that they put into it.
I feel like it hurts me is like you can see, the passion, but then you look at like Wizards of the Coast and you see this unfeeling machine, of it, like, pay up.
The thing is, every time I've worked someplace and corporate comes down and they got a whole bunch of new rules for how you're going to run the show here. Meanwhile, corporate's new rules have nothing to do with making anything actually work better at the grunt level of things, because corporate is disconnected. They don't care. They don't know. They're not actually working with any of this stuff. All they know is they have to sit around in a boardroom pretending to be useful. Meanwhile, the only people that actually make shit run are out there doing the hard work. And in our case, the people doing the hard work and making things happen are the people that actually play D&D. Like, I think if you're going to be on the board of directors for WotC, you need a few requirements. You need to have your magic deck locked and ready, holstered up anytime you walk into the office, and you will be constantly under threat of somebody challenging you to a game, and if you lose, you get audited.
Like a Yu-Gi-Oh world.
Yes, I feel like every time you lose, you should be audited.
I think the problem of higher up coming down onto like the actual people putting in the work, right, is not. It's a pretty global problem. I think it happens everywhere. But I think in the case of Wizards of the Coast, I think there's game designers that are very passionate about the product that they're putting out there.
Absolutely.
But I think that they are being held back by stakeholders.
They really are. Yeah. Like, bare minimum, all these stakeholders, all these board of directors people, they need to, like, first, we already talked, step one. They all have to start carrying a deck. They have to be, they got to be packing. Step two, they have to be involved in at least one weekly or bi-weekly game. And if they're in a bi-weekly game, they need at least 2 one-shots a year in addition to that.
Because look, we all know the people on this board are like 50-year-old men who play like.
Part of the interview or job interview should be, what is the weakest and strongest subclass currently in Dungeons and Dragons?
You gotta 1v1 me in a magic game. If you win, you're hired.
Damn, you lose straight to the Shadow Realm. You're out of here. That's all I'm saying. Like, there's such a disconnect with the people that run the show. Like, if you're going to be in charge of running my hobby, my games, you need to bare minimum be involved in my hobby and my games,
Yeah, I can see.
Wizards? Yeah. Where's the love for your game?
Well, speaking of love for their game, we do know that there are some amazing people working there, and some of those people had a hand in putting together Planescape, which was just released. So, Adventures in the Multiverse.
Which looks super cool.
Well, let's see. Right now, it is 2023. 5e started in 2014. What took so long?
God dang. Shit. We're old, boys. We're old.
I'm just saying, like, why? This should have been like maybe the 7th book to come out as soon as they were releasing books.
Yeah. Look, explain for some people who may Planescape is.
Me included.
Okay, so Planescape is basically the entire multiverse of settings. You got the elemental plane of fire, water, you got the Shadowfell, the Feywild, the outer planes, the planes of I think even Asgard's a plane, actually. Mechanus, and
it is.
like you hear about all these different planes throughout D&D, but you got little to nothing to work with in 5th edition. So if you want to use anything to do with that, yeah, we have. And if you want to use anything reasonable for these planes in modern 5th edition, you got to go and steal from 4th. You got to steal from 3rd edition. You got to take from older editions just to be able to do this. And that can be a pain in the ass, you know, especially if you're one of those stick in the mud, I only do it by the book DMs.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is a lot about what I talk about, you know, in those cosmology episodes. There's not a lot of substance, you know, when it comes and stuff for 5th edition.
Let's see what's included in this. I mean, like they broke it up into 3 books, just the same as they did with the some of the other recent things that they did. So let's see, 2 new backgrounds, 7 additional feats, 12 ascendant factions, 50 additional creature stat blocks, which includes Planner Incarnates, Hierarch Modrons, and Time Dragons, and an Encounter Builder. Okay, Time Dragons, now, that's wild. I'm down for some Time Dragons.
Chrono Dragons? That sounds pretty sick.
Yeah, it does. So they got some adventure hooks, encounter tables, maps of the Outlands, and more. Yeah, they got like a whole bunch of shit in here. So if anyone's interested, they can probably check that out on their website. Although that kind of leads me into the next thing, Sam. Apparently, remember when we were talking about Penguin Random House being dropped as a publisher?
Yes.
Yeah, WotC has decided to seize the means of publication and just make their own books. Cut out the middleman.
Okay. I see.
I don't see it as that big a deal, but a lot of people are worried that they might increase their prices because that's one less entity negotiating as a middleman.
Right. I could see that. I mean,
I don't know.
I have to wait and see what happens, I guess.
I am definitely in the wait and see boat on that one with you because I think that they might find ways to cut corners and save money that way. So maybe. Depends on how robust their ability to produce is.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on like how much that actually changes, I guess, you know? Like
If anything, it should be cheaper than to make books, right?
I would imagine.
If you're cutting out the middleman and you just print them yourself, you're saving on costs.
Yeah, I mean, at most you have to hire like some people to negotiate, but at the same time, those people that you were hiring to negotiate were probably the same people you had negotiating with your middleman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, if the books get more expensive, I'd be really surprised.
Oh, I think
they already are pretty expensive, to be honest.
They are. Like, if the books get more expensive, I think that would be the last nail in the coffin. Because
like a middle for the consumers, huh?
Your average D&D player has had enough of this and not nearly as fed up as your average DM that actually pays for this shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of paying for shit, moving on to our last little bit of news, Pathfinder and Starfinder this coming year are going to be raising their prices because, like everybody else, they are not immune to inflation.
Rest in peace.
I mean, honestly, good for them.
As long as you know
how much like are we talking? Yeah, it's a reasonable price.
Yeah.
Let's see here. It says in this article, like the bounties and quests thing that they had, which was previously $4.99, will be $5.99.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and like just kind of skimming through some of this. So they're trying their best to kind of flatten the disparity amongst their price increases, and add more stuff that's going to be on the $20 list of things that you can get there. So I think Paizo generally knows what they're doing in terms of how they've been handling things this year. And a mild price increase, considering how everything's gone economically, I'm not surprised. And I don't think too many people are going to be really concerned or hit hard by this.
No, I don't think so either. A lot of things you said, people might be, happy with this.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, last year has been definitely good for Paizo.
Yeah.
Given everything that happened with Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, they're definitely picking up a extra from what Wizards has dropped. So I'd say they're probably going to be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah. And I mean, if anything, if they raise their prices a little bit, it will give them a larger profit margin, which in turn, I think they kind of deserve that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think they've earned the profit margin that they're at, but like most profit margins across the industry aren't objectively that high.
Oh no, not at all.
I don't necessarily know what the profit margins are for Paizo and WotC, but like seeing as a Hasbro is maintained in like 70% so by WotC, then it's like, okay, it's got to be significant.
I think you'll find that most of the profit from Wizards of the Coast is actually made through D&D Beyond, just from its subscriptions and the digital copies of the books. Because the moment that you do not need to actively print them, that saves you a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, when you're removing that element of production, like say it costs you like $20 to print a book, and then like even more to have someone revise the book, make sure it printed fine, and then not distribution and shipping, and then markups that are applied when selling through distributors. That's a whole lot. And when you're able to remove that entirely, it's no different than when video games started doing e-commerce and selling their games for about the same as what they were selling previously. It's like, okay, you can buy Mario the physical copy, or you can buy Mario the digital copy, same price. The difference is like the $60 is $60, and that $60 on the e-copy is straight into Nintendo's pocket.
Yep.
Facts.
But also, I do much prefer to buy stuff the physical way, basically, right? Having the physical books.
Honestly, you can't replace the inspiration that comes when you're at the table with a bunch of your friends, you're playing the game, and like maybe you look to a player, hey, open up to the page that we need for that specific thing. Just do that real quick for me. I don't remember the rule. And then they open it, they grab the book, and just they don't even look. They just open it up, and it opens magically to the page that you're looking for.
Man, what really makes me feel good as a DM is when like my players are like just and like flipping through their notes, and they're like, "Oh, I remember this." And they're like,
yeah, or if you
paid attention.
If you give a description of a monster and they start rushing through the monster manual, like shit, where is it?
Oh,
I love that.
That book won't help you here.
This is a homebrew monster of my own making.
This is a monster of my own creation. Speaking of which, Sam, I think that segues into our monster of the week, maybe? Yes, no?
I think it does. Yeah. So keep the spirit of Halloween, Spooktober. crave of the demons and monsters. I'm going to talk about one of the most famous, kind of a monster, the Frankenstein, right? The flesh golem.
All right. Was it Mary
Oh,
Shelley?
I just realized how smooth that segue
Mary
is.
Shelley's.
I love it.
Oh, thanks, man. That's right. An attempt was made.
Oh, Sam, we got to make you a stinger for your segment. Just like boom.
Yes, I'm all for
You're
it.
so whimsical.
Well, now that you got a
flesh
soundboard,
golems are. I mean, it's just a disorder. Flesh golems were put together from the body parts of several different creatures, usually humans, all stitched and bolted to a new humanoid form. Bigger than a living man, they were usually 8 feet, 2.4 meters tall, about 500 pounds, 200. As the flesh was often robbed from graves and still decaying, had a lingering slight smell of dead flesh and fresh turned soil. No ordinary animal willingly follow its trail. Unable to fully control its body, a flesh golem moved and walked stiffly. It was unable to speak, being only to roar. Its clothing and possessions were whatever its creator wished to give it, often just a tattered pair of trousers and no weapons. So, yeah, you were definitely right. The Mary Shelley Frankenstein, Orpheus, was an 1818 novel. Frankenstein tells the story of Victor Frankenstein, a young scientist who creates a sapient creature, unorthodox scientific experiment. So yeah, we all know what Frankenstein is. It's a bunch of body parts put together. Green man struck by lightning. He lives.
I saw a little bit of Young Frankenstein the other week, and dude, I've never actually sat down and watched the movie, but I'm sold. We got to add it to the watch party list for this month for the server. It'd be great.
I mean, we haven't done watch party in a while. We should.
Yeah, Forrest has been away doing his own stuff, but he's settled down. He's basically back, so we'll see where we can go from there.
I think it's always funny because people are like, oh, Frankenstein's monster and it's Victor Frankenstein, but the monster is not Frankenstein. It's like the monster was created by Frankenstein. It never really has a name. The name of, the name of what Frankenstein would be a flesh golem.
Yeah, like that was the byproduct, the creation there.
Check this out. So this is really interesting. I found out that there is a flatwoods monster nestled within the rugged landscape of West Virginia's Braxton County. 7 eyewitnesses and a scared dog had an otherworldly encounter today. The story goes that in 1952, a group of children playing football saw a bright object streak across the sky before crashing close to a nearby farm. After calling for one of their mothers and being joined by several other children, the group headed toward the object to see it. What they saw changed their lives forever. They all described a Frankenstein-like monster. All 7 witnesses reported it was 10 to 12 feet tall with a green face, red body, of hands. Its eyes glowed as it floated toward them, emitting a sickening metallic odor as it grew closer. When others returned to the site to investigate later, only a foul and only 2 large skid marks remained. So
this is an orbital drop, essentially. Like some alien dude just kind of dropped from orbit, left some skid marks, floated around menacingly, and hopped off.
I don't know what the hell. I couldn't find anything else. Frankenstein-like monster sounds.
Yeah, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. What more can you say?
It was pretty cool. So, don't forget the nature of a flesh golem could be really anything that the creator, kind of had the ability to make it.
Yeah,
the quality and stuff like that. There were a few interesting variants. So one is a fiendish flesh golem. Was a CR8 flesh golem that was formed from various fiends named things. They were particularly large constructs, each of which was unique in its own design. The secret to creating fiends was known only to night hags, and they rarely shared this esoteric knowledge with others.
So night hags are the real Frankenstein here.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes sense that they would, create these kind of fiend flesh golems. And the picture that I found for them is really kind of fucky. Like, for example, this creature has like werewolf feet with the 3 claws, disjointed like leg, with the bent out like satyr knees.
Ooh,
and then it has like fucking Yugoloth like arms. It's so weird. And then there were also the
with flesh golems, the sky's the limit, really.
Yeah, I mean, you can really, creativity and magical and medical ability is like. I have a little bit here about how they're created and what the process is like, but there were also were CR8 flesh golems that were created with the body of kin, such as dragonkin, lizardfolk, wanti, kobolds, etc. Usually had abilities more turned towards like magical resistances and venom and stuff like that.
Give this thing a scorpion tail and a big old meaty crab claw,
Big meaty
yeah, big meaty claws.
Getting into the creation of flesh golems here, special unguents and bindings were needed to keep the flesh bound together during creation. These alone would cost upwards of 500 gold pieces. Actually putting them together required skills in medicine, surgery, or leatherworking. The spells Animate Dead, Bull Strength, Geese, Quest, Wish by a capable spellcaster were used in creation of a flesh golem. The total monetary cost of its construction 10,500 gold pieces, and a complete flesh golem is valued at around 20,000 gold pieces, depending on specifics.
So a level 17 party could effectively make their unholy, grotesque flesh golem army, as long as someone knows how to work either medicine or leather workers' tools.
Yeah, you have somebody who is proficient in like necromancy, animate dead, revitalizing flesh and stuff like that. Put some money into it, some materials. You could probably get it done.
That would be the gnarliest life cleric ever.
Oh man,
I love it.
If only
it's
our
interesting.
druid lived. Body pieces that she's collected over the campaign.
Oh, she has been collecting big time.
Oh man!
Like walking away from each fight, like I got a leg.
Can I cut the head off? You could try.
I'd be terrified as the DM. Like, what do you want to do that?
Oh yeah, I was like, what's going on? You got some son?
Every time, tactically, we have to be like, okay, everybody in the dimension diamond. Oh yeah, I forgot about all the corpse pieces in here.
There's a bunch of heads and legs and shit.
It's starting to smell.
Severed wings. So getting into the abilities and stats here, a flesh golem, like other similar constructs, was immune to any spell that could alter its form. Other magical effects affected them differently, akin to living creatures. Magical fire and cold not only damaged flesh golems, but also slowed them down from a dozen seconds to over a minute. So they had the weakness to fire and cold usually. Magical electrical discharges actually heal the damaged flesh golem,
like a shambling mound.
Exactly. Yeah. If not damaged, it would actually become more durable temporarily. Their toughness means they require adamantine weapons in most cases.
I like that. You don't see adamantine nearly enough in most campaigns.
No, absolutely not. Getting into their stats here, they have a strength of 19, dexterity of 9, constitution of 18, intelligence of 6, wisdom of 10, and charisma of 5. So, keep in mind, this can definitely vary depending on the body parts and creatures used and stuff like that. You have the Berserk ability. Whenever the golem starts its turn with 40 hit points or fewer, roll a d6. On a 6, the golem goes Berserk. On each berserk, the golem attacks the nearest creature it can see. No creature is near enough to move to and attack. The golem attacks an object, with preference for an object smaller than it. Once the golem goes berserk, it continues to do so until it is destroyed or gains all its hit points. The golem's creator, if within 60 feet of the berserk golem, can try to calm it by speaking firmly and persuasively. The golem must be able to hear its creator, who must take an action in charisma persuasion check. If the check succeeds, the golem ceases going berserk. If it while still at 40 hit points or fewer, the golem might go berserk again.
Okay, kind of soothe the savage beast a little bit there.
Right. Calm, it's okay.
Just give him a
They
hug.
really did not held back with the Frankenstein inspiration here.
Yeah, and then now more Frankenstein inspiration. We have the aversion to fire. Gold takes fire damage. It has disadvantage on attack rolls and makes ability checks until the end of its next turn. Oh, sorry, disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the end of its next. And then we have the immutable form. The golem is immune to any spell or effect that would alter its form, like I said. Last but not least, we have lightning absorption. Whenever the golem is subjected to lightning damage, it takes no damage. The number of hit points equal to the lightning damage dealt. So pretty strong thing, This is a force.
I
got
like
a wizard
it.
with a few of these bad boys. Oof.
I kind of want to use them in the upcoming campaign now, so keep your eye out, Sam.
Oh man! Now I'm thinking about there's no reason they couldn't wield good weapons and good armor and stuff.
Yeah.
A good creator would take care of their child.
Yeah. Deck them out, put some armor on there. Honestly, if you had like a whole bunch of flesh golems, you could get a good firing line.
Oh yeah. Who needs a paladin when you can make your own?
A literal meat shield.
Oh man!
Oh yeah, you got your meat shield golems, and then you have your airstrike golems.
Yeah, who says you couldn't make a serpentine golem with wings? Shit.
Well, actually, Sam, snakes aren't manly enough to fly. So
unfortunately.
Yeah, that's gotta be the best anime quote I've ever heard.
But I mean, there's not too much about flesh golems to really talk about. So I mean, that's really all I have. But I think there's a lot with them. This is, to kind of keep the theme of today's episode. The creativity is your limit.
I'm loving the creativity.
Really throw something crazy at you. Just the idea of it being a flesh golem.
What I think would be extremely fun is to remove the immutable form.
Yeah.
So the moment that somebody casts polymorph on it, all the individual body parts that it consists of actually morph into the body parts of that animal.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Turn it into a grotesque chicken.
On it.
Yes. Or maybe just one singular body part changes.
Ooh, I like that more, actually. That's far more humoring because it's composed of all this different DNA.
Yeah, exactly.
You have like a flesh golem that fuses with an ooze of some kind,
Ooh,
now you got a symbiote.
I really like that. Now, Sam, we've talked about the IRL fight score before, and we're not always able to do that because some of these monsters are just like, no fucking way. But I think a flesh golem is definitely in the realm. What would you rate that one?
Man, I think if we're talking like a base, regular, Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster kind of flesh golem, they're kind of slow. They're very shambly. Yeah, they're strong, but they're dead bodies for the most part. I give it a 6.
All right, I think I'll go with a 5. Give myself a 50-50 shot. I mean, there's enough weaknesses there that I could pull out all reliable. I always carry a lighter with me. That's a good start.
Right.
Aversion to fire. I can light things on fire. I will light the shirt off my back and start whipping this thing. He'll be like, "Argh!" and then I have to trick it into falling into something and impaling it somehow. So all of a sudden we have to get into the weird tactics that come with fucking with something that big.
I feel like my plan would be I pull out like a knife or something. I like start, I'm squaring it up, looking at where all the stitchings are on its body. Going straight
You
for the
just
knees.
cut the stitches, not even the
Yeah.
monster, just the stitches.
Nah. Get the stitches, man. Cut the knees, and it's like it's going down.
How about you, Goose?
Disjoint the elbows.
I'm thinking, but fire aversion is really, really bad. So yeah, could probably take
a
it.
fire knife.
5 out of 5. 5 score of 5, I think. Yeah.
Fire blade.
Yeah, 5 out of 10. That's fair. I mean, I think if you like culturally, we have enough of an awareness of what a Frankenstein type monster is.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people would fall into the 5 category because it's like almost a generic monster film at that point.
Yeah, it's like,
and I think it's
scaled
just
up.
maybe a little bit too clunky to really be much of a threat, right? You can just always outrun it.
Right.
And a lighter and a bottle of deodorant will do wonders.
That's always been my thing with like zombies. Like they're not really that threatening, right? Like
it's always the question: is it the Walking Dead zombies or is it right?
The second
Game
they
of Thrones zombies.
But flesh golem, that's made well enough to be trucking down,
Oh yeah, at that point they're going to overpower you. It's just like if they got that speed.
It would be fun to make a flesh golem that is purely made of the body parts of Red Dragonborn to basically overcome the fire aversion.
Oh man!
And a creative caster that's making these things might think of that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just
mixing Dragonborn colors.
Exactly. Like honestly, at that point, you're just building smarter.
All right. Yeah, work harder, not smarter.
Improving on the base design. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And at that point, it's very much an engineering thing. Okay, so we slaughter a bunch of red Dragonborn, get some wings from a wyvern, strap those babies on there. Give it a second head from a different colored Dragonborn. You know what? Fuck it. 3 heads.
Yeah, exactly.
So
let's make a Frankenstein.
You got a draconic abomination, boom. Crazy flesh golem for your party to fight.
Let's make a Frankenstein Tiamat.
Yes. We can Frankenstein the Tiamat. So like have the heads positioned in different parts. So like like that's breath attacks from like different directions. You could have like we get like some harpy feet or something. So like when it swoops in, boom, it can like carry someone away. Like Sam said earlier, armor.
Kind of the deal with like this draconic flesh golem, where they're not really like natural dragons, kin. They're kind of means or whatever. At least in most cases.
Also, I love that the intelligence score of the flesh golem is a 6, meaning that you can feasibly create a player character that is dumber than a flesh golem.
Yeah. I've seen a character rolled up like that once. It was my brother, and he stuck with it. Like a lot of people would have just said, "No, I'm not doing this." He continued to take that character and just make Shaggy, and then became a Beastmaster Ranger so he could have his own Scooby. And his backstory was he was all pissed off because someone destroyed his food cart. And
the Scooby snacks.
Yeah,
you just reminded me.
Yeah, he was out for revenge.
I was doing some more things on the my One Piece character sheet for the upcoming campaign that we have, and I went ahead and I did my stats. Would you like to hear them?
Oh yes, I think we're jumping the ball on session 0 there, but we're always kind of sloppy with that, honestly, in our crew. So and give us those stats, bud.
I like to be prepared. So for my Devil Forge, 3, 1, can't remember. What level are we starting at?
We're starting at level 1.
Okay, cool. Just checking. All right, so I got a 17 for strength, 14 for constitution, 9 for dexterity, 12 for wisdom, 11 for intelligence, and a 16 for charisma.
All right, that'll work.
Yeah.
Good scores.
Not bad. with this being kind of like the hex blade-ish like build, I think that works. Spell casting is with the charisma. Ability score is a con +1, strength +2. Saving throws are wisdom and charisma. Yeah. Not bad.
I'm curious to see how this turns out, considering you're going for like this whole fishman thing, but like very different. Like I hadn't even heard of the creature that you're basing it off of until you showed me.
Oh yeah, the Glaucus atlanticus.
Yes, also known as like what the blue dragon of the sea.
Yeah, it's a sea slug, but it's really cool looking. Looks like a little dragon.
Right. Oh, that one is so cool.
Yeah, I have this idea of like an angler mixed with like that, you know.
I love the pictures where they look so large, and then you see one on a fingertip, and it's like, oh,
they're so tiny. Yeah,
honestly, they're just amazing to look at. So you kind of get that bioluminescence going on, like
exactly.
It's just wild.
It looks like a Pokemon.
It really
does. It does.
Yeah,
that's just how the ocean is. Fucking, you see every week there's a new discovery in the ocean. You're like, what the hell is that?
So you'll have like those little weird frills kind of coming off of
maybe, yeah.
We'll see how it goes. Like probably getting a tail.
See what we can come with an artist.
But
all right, I think that's a pretty good time to go into our Descriptify.
Well, this week's Descriptify, we actually kind of dove a tiny bit into it at the start of the show with the privy, the old word for a toilet or a small little bench with holes that the people can use for toilet type things. Now, a lot of castles back in the old days would have their little privy set up like up in the on the ramparts where you could like just you take a shit and then it's like it's gonna goes into like a little vat and then they would drop it on people that would try to invade the castle.
Oh,
so could you imagine like your players try to raid a castle? They're trying to break in, and then just one of the soldiers just dumps a whole pile of shit on them.
What the fuck?
Make a con save to keep from retching.
Oh yeah, there's also privy, like according to a law, a person having a part or interest in any action, matter, or thing.
Yeah.
And then an adjective sharing in the knowledge of something secret or private. Interesting. Oh yeah, like you're privy to. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's like privy is almost like privacy. So like I could see where like the word root is there. So it kind of doubles up.
Outhouse. Okay, so I didn't know privy was an outhouse. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's more along the lines of just like if you're in.
Oh, that's why you were talking about toilets.
Yeah. In a lot of senses, it's like it's either a hole or like a bucket that you use for that kind of thing.
Right. It's a
shit. I've heard of people taking like a bucket and having the whole party piss in it to make holy water. It's like we're fighting a vampire, boys. Pee in my bucket.
I don't think that would work.
Well, first you have to cast the thing to purify it to turn it into holy water.
All right.
Creative.
Gotta bless it.
Dear Lord, bless this piss.
That would be really interesting in a survival kind of campaign. With very little food and water. Like, don't worry, guys, I have purify.
Don't worry, guys.
Purify food and drink works on piss.
Don't worry, Bear Grylls prepared me for this. Everybody, piss in this bucket.
Except for you, the Dragonborn, don't piss in here. Like acidic.
That's just for taste.
Just for taste. Yeah, good old Mountain Dew. That's how it's made.
Oh man, I saw the Hakune Miku Baja Blast meme.
Oh, is that a thing?
Wait, what?
Hatsune Miku?
Yeah. There's a meme that says Hakune Miku's pee is Baja Blast.
Oh.
Huh.
Oh.
That won't stop me. I like Baja.
Oh, They have to only make me drink it more.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
man.
I guess that kind of leads us into our next segment.
Generic realm! Generic realm! Lots of fun! Excellent!
Yeah, it's always sunny in the generic realms. And that's where we have... let me just see if I can make it a little bigger on the screen here. A little bigger than that. I present to you the living jar.
Hell yeah.
Now, the living jar, it's very simple. A small construct. It's just a jar. It can be any kind of jar. An AC of 10.
Jar.
Yeah, it's like maybe 12 hit points or so. It's got a speed of 15 and a swim feed of 10.
That's a fart.
I'll send a picture to you right here.
I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, you are? Okay, cool. I forgot I sent that to you already. So it's vulnerable to bludgeoning, fire, and slashing.
Okay.
The condition immunities: blind, charmed, deafened, exhausted, frightened, petrified, poisoned, or unconscious. It's got dark vision? What?
What?
It knows all languages. So
What the hell?
So if you can recruit this living jar to your party, it might be good as a translator, apparently.
Interesting.
Now, the thing is, this is a jar, so its most notable feature is that it is fillable. So it actively seeks out people and asks them to have things stored inside it, like potions, rations, acid, water, dirt, piss.
Please fill me up. Put something inside me, please. Oh my god. Please, I'm begging you.
Yeah, exactly. They'll take anything, no matter how destructive or corrosive it is, and they'll store it just fine.
Please, master. Fill me.
Let me hold the potion, master.
So, it reminds me of the game with the talking guns. I forgot the name.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
And some people don't like because the guy that made Rick and Morty made it or something.
People always want to shit on celebrities, and whenever something's unfortunate happens to a celebrity, there's a term for it: Schadenfreude.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I like this jar.
I do. I like this.
I'm not sure what is going on with it, but I like it.
When you want to have an annoying little NPC that's also a useful item, but not like too abusable, this is a good fit.
Why it has vision? Why it knows all languages? Of course.
Recruit it to the party. Offer to fill it with juice or something.
Fill it with piss.
It would be happy to do so.
The honorary piss jar.
I've heard of worse uses for jars, honestly.
Oh no! No, it's not the pony jar.
But I feel like there's a lot of fun that could be had with a DM that wants to do an annoying voiced characters. You know,
I could see it. I can see it.
There's just a lot here for so little, and I highly encourage people to try it out.
I give the jar. I give it a 7 out of 10. 7 D20s out of.
You know what? I would say yeah. The all languages known is kind of a big thing. Like, holy shit. If you manage to capture one of these and convince it to do stuff for you, the fact that it can hold a potion and move around is massive.
Yeah, you could like have it go to somebody who needs a potion. Like, that's really good, actually.
It has a movement speed of 15 and a swim speed of 10.
It's not bad at all. And like, how is this? Is it rolling? Is it hopping? Like,
DM's choice.
I guess it's up to you. Yeah, I guess it's up to DM's choice.
Whatever makes the most sense for the voice.
Right.
Yes.
Right. It grows ghost arms and scoots itself across the floor.
You can have this thing stalk your party after they leave a dungeon.
Oh my god! It grows little legs.
Oh, like one of those old cartoons where like the house like lifts up its skirt and just walks away.
Yeah, it's like whenever you're not looking, it like grows little legs.
Yeah, it's like yeah, the little walking sound.
I love it. I love it. All right, it's moved up to an 8 for me now.
What do you think, Goose? Would your players like a living jar?
I'm scared to give it to them because I know exactly how they're gonna use it.
As you should be.
They will find ways to abuse it. I mean, I love the flavor, but if I allowed, like, in my game, languages are a big deal, and you have to spend time to learn them. So if I were to give them a potion that knows all languages, or a bottle that knows all languages, I could basically throw 90% of the prep I've done so far out the window.
Oh, you could have it be like while it's full, the voice sounds like it's like underwater.
Oh, that would be amazing. I love that.
But it's constantly like, fill me, fill me.
Maybe we take out the all languages known, just, you know, as a campaign specific thing, and like the language known will be common by default, and then one additional language based on what it's filled with.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I like that. Oh, that's a good idea.
Because there's like, okay,
if you would fill it with holy water, it could speak celestial.
Dude, oh man,
ooh, see?
That would be awesome.
That serves the translation purpose while being more like, we have to actively seek these things out. Like, okay, we need to speak like we need to speak infernal, so we need to get our hands on like a very special type of acid.
Yeah, or maybe put like fiend's blood in it or something. Like,
ooh, yeah, like to know draconic, you have to fill it with dragon's blood.
Oh, dude, I like that. That's a cool item. Now we're cooking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Super cool.
I like.
I like how like if just that little tidbit takes it in a completely different direction and can kind of motivate your players to like, okay, if you are running languages as being a more prominent thing like Goose is, that's completely changes the game there.
Yeah. Oh, I might add this to my game now, but with that little change.
Yeah, I really like the idea of like depending on what's inside it. Maybe there's like extra effects, or maybe it can give you like the language.
Yeah, I like the translation part, because at the same time, you don't know what the alignment is of this thing. Is it trustworthy? It could be very well out for its own devices.
I mean, like, and I would imagine that'd be something you wouldn't know. Like, maybe you would drink like a potion of giant strength, right? Now suddenly you're speaking giant. Like,
yeah, you could fill it with a potion of giant strength, and then it knows Jotun. Or if you put like water in it, now it knows Aquan. Dirt, then it would know Terran.
Exactly. I like that.
Maybe graveyard dirt.
Just remembering
dirt.
the Jack Sparrow, I've got a pot of dirt meme.
Yes! I got a job done. I got a job done.
But it would be super cool to like give it its own personality, and then if you use it to translate it, make it maybe mistranslate things.
Oh yes, like have it be like a little unreliable in certain things.
Right?
Yes.
It's not like all knowing. It's not that smart. It just knows.
It has an intelligence of 8.
Yeah, so I mean,
so it might just give you the cliff notes.
Yeah, just because it knows a language, you're like, oh yeah, I've heard someone speak that before. You know, I've heard it before, but I don't exactly like know what everything means.
I mean, your charisma checks aren't exactly going to pass through this thing very well for negotiations.
You negotiate with a joke.
It's got a charisma of 10, so it's like, okay, it can talk, but like it's a talking jar.
All it wants is to be filled. Like, and not broken, I guess. Like,
yeah, presumably not broken.
all right. Go ahead and talk about mine now.
All right.
I will present the Blackjack, a very rare Warhammer, versatile attunement. This is a large black hammer with like the head of like a black jack-o'-lantern. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's a
I like it.
1d8, 1d10 plus 2 bludgeoning damage. With a and a +2 to attack rolls you make with this weapon, as well as the ability Jack's Magic. This Warhammer has 10 charges. It regains 1d8 charges at midnight. You may expend charges to cast spells from the table below. Saves a target has to make for these spells, DC is 14, or your spell save DC, whichever is higher. So for we got Hideous Laughter. For 4 charges, we got Entangle. 5 charges, we have Fear. 6 charges, we have a 3rd level Fireball. And 9 charges, we have Hallow.
Ooh.
I don't actually know what that spell is.
It sounds cool.
Hallow spells. Hold on, let me see here. Hallow is a 5th level spell, 24 hours time until dispelled. You touch a point and infuse an area around it with holy or unholy power. The area can have a radius up to 60 feet. Will you like create hallowed ground?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh. First, celestial elementals fail. Undead cannot enter the area, nor can creatures charm, frighten, or possess creatures within it. You can bind an effect to the area. Sick. Hold on. Wait. Okay. Courage. Affected creatures can frighten. Darkness. Darkness fills the area. Daylight. Bright light fills the area. Energy
Very
protection.
thematic.
I like it a lot.
Very multifunctional.
You can do an aura. You can do an aura of tongues.
Back to translations.
Yeah. This is a cool. I like this weapon. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, I like
So,
the general, like the pumpkin
created by,
head shape to it. You know.
Yeah, this is created by Bonus Action on Instagram, and shout out to them.
Oh, they got a
Pretty cool.
Patreon. That's cool.
They do. Yeah. Looks like they have a whole kind of Halloween theme going on as well.
I feel like that's very appropriate for
Trick or
this month.
treat daggers that I'm probably talking about for next episode.
Ooh, that'll be good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I would love to see a complementary paladin subclass to go along with this. Like an Oath of
So-
Fear or something like that.
Cool.
Yes, because like we have Oath of Conquests and Redemption, but you know,
Oath of the Pumpkin King.
Oath of the Spooky.
I'm trying to think of like a really good way of putting it. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
it's on the tip of my tongue. I'll think of it
Oath of
after
Dread?
the show.
No, but yeah. What do you think of this? I give it a 7. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what? Just because I like the whole thematicness of it and just cool shape, I'll give it an 8. I like it.
I can picture Jack Skellington pulling this bad boy out.
I do
Being
like
I'm
that.
the Pumpkin King.
The Pumpkin King. Yes,
No,
it's very good.
But yeah, that's all I have for this episode today.
Absolutely. Speaking of Patreon, and with Goose kind of putting out a lot of his stuff for free, have you considered putting together a Patreon to kind of for people to support your work?
Yes, I have. But right now, I don't think I put out enough content, and I put out enough content consistently for it to be, for it to warrant a Patreon.
Right.
So maybe
It's
at
kinda
some
how I
point in the
feel too,
future,
but-
I might consider it. But right now, I'm just doing it for fun, basically, right? And because I like putting stuff out there. And once I maybe get a bit of a following going, I might consider creating a Patreon. But that's all stuff in the future. For now, I just want to put
Absolutely.
stuff out there, and I want to, give it to the people, basically.
Sounds good. If you want to
Where
get more
can
of a
these people find
following, yeah, if he wants to get more of a following, I might suggest Twitter, because the D&D community on Twitter, they're always trying to bring each other up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was very
That's definitely
surprised by
true.
that, because like I'm not really a Twitter guy, but kind of had to for this sense of trying to promote the show a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, I hadn't even looked at Twitter, to be honest. I've just been posting my stuff on Reddit, but if you
Yeah.
put it that way.
It's a wider audience, for sure.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll make a Twitter.
Well, if you
Yeah.
if you make a Twitter, we'll give you a follow, and we'll share your stuff around. Trust and believe, you'll get a following real quick with the quality of your content.
Cool. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. For anybody listening right now, I just heard, I think Starboy talk about it. If you
yes.
do want to follow me, I post my stuff on Reddit under TheGooseQuill. Nice and obvious. And I post stuff like maybe once every 2 weeks or so.
All right.
Oh yeah, guys.
Sounds
Please check
great.
him out. It was
Hey.
great having you.
Yes,
Fasud.
thank you
Nice
so
to
much for
meet
inviting
you,
me.
man.
Yeah, you've been a wonderful guest.
It was a lot of fun doing it.
Absolutely. And if you want to come on the show sometime, once you feel more up to kind of let people throw a little bit of some tips your way for all your good homebrew, we'll have you back on.
Sure thing. Sounds good.
All right.
But if we don't have anything else, that wraps us up.
Yep, I think that does. We'll be back to our regular scheduled time next week, so everyone keep a
We
lookout
will
for
be
that.
posting an episode on Halloween, right? I believe. Maybe a surprise for the viewers for that episode.
Ooh, spooky.
Yeah, we
Scary
got some stuff that we're working on, and hopefully those surprises will be coming soon.
If you guys don't see us on Halloween, we do hope an amazing holiday. Get candy, have fun with friends, be safe.
Absolutely, it's a busy time of year. I know, especially for me. I got the 4 kids running around the house.
Man, you with 4 kids, I can only imagine. All right. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Dungeons and Talk Show. I'm Sam.
And I'm Orion.
That's Orion.
Have a great weekend, and see you
Have
next
a
time.
great weekend.